Welcome to String Theory. We are here tonight with the one and the only, and we're going to find out lots more about all of it. Ben Rutz, right there, fiddler extraordinaire. Set your pants on fire and catch your hair. I'm a songwriter. I wrote that. I made
like that.
But you know what?
What?
Welcome
to
String Theory. Here's John and Chris.
Yeah, I was like
Ginger. I'm telling you what, son of a gun. Yeah, so we're here in the old barn-room, and we've been playing fiddle and guitars and listening to music and having a beer. And I'm going to tell you what, in all seriousness, this man right here is one of the finest violin players in all of Canada. And he's moved to the Maritimes. That's what's boggling my mind. He now lives in Bedford. Coming from where?
Coming from Pembroke, Ontario, the Ottawa Valley, yeah.
And tell him who your main band leader is.
My main band leader, yes. I've been touring with some Scottish fella. His name's Johnny Reid.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing that since I was 16 years old. it's been a great experience, and yeah.
And you came all up through the contests and
All through the contest circuit.
It's there's a lot going on there, and I found out he was here through Bruce Guthrow. Was kind enough, as Bruce is, right, to make a post on Facebook about Ben's arrival in the East Coast, and I immediately reached out and said, you want people to find out you're here? And I know just how to do that. And so here we are. So this is our string theory night with Ben. There's going to be lots of stuff going on.
Awesome.
We're so proud you're here, and you're just a monstrous fiddle player, man. I'm telling you, I just love it. It's incredible.
Super honored, super thankful to be here tonight. It's we're gonna have a great time.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And let's not forget our partners in crime, Boucher Guitars, of course, Forever, Levy's Music, Leather Straps, G&G Music, and Annie Ganesh, Citadel Music, who's going to be featured in our Capo Corner tonight, Opry Music Store in Miramichi, Vince Mullen up there, our buddy, Reed's Music in Mount Pearl, K&K Sound, Gallagher, Recording King, Alvarez Yeri, St. Louis Music, thanks to Chris Meikle in London for everything he does for us, Yamaha Music Canada, I'll save that for Capo Corner as well, James Martin Instruments in Kilkenny, Ireland, Joshua House Guitars in Goderich, Ontario, Close Guitars, the best carbon fiber guitars I've ever played in my life, Cody Guitars, right here local, Orangewood, Audio Sprockets, D'Addario Canada, The Arc, Apollo Picks, Tone Right, Epiphone Gibson, and Blue Chip Picks, all part of our family here on
Chime in on a few of those too. Thank you.
Yes, yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, for Capo Corner, the first thing they're going to do tonight is I had a beautiful visit yesterday with our friend at Citadel Music, Steve McNeil, the premier of Nova Scotia Music. And I'm telling you, that store has just exploded. So he's now carrying Guild, the full line of Guild guitars, which I just love those things anyway. He's got the full line of D'Angelico, acoustic and electric, Hagstrom. Yamaha Music Canada has thrown in 100% with that shop. Just some beautiful instruments in there from Yamaha. And he's selling everything right now tax-free. And he also came into, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but he came into a very, very large collection of privately owned vintage guitars. And he's getting them into the store, about 5 at a time.
Wow.
And if you want to see some really, really cool stuff that you couldn't find anywhere, that's where you're going to find it. So the second half of Capo Corner is this little beast that I picked up, and I saved the porno for you guys tonight. we call this pickguard porno.
Oh wow!
You got to pull the plastic off this pickguard. Okay, you ready? So we have to save this for everybody here.
Gotta rotate the guitar a little. There you go.
And there it is.
The guitar now belongs to me. And this beast here, I found at Stevens, and I had to buy it because I'm a 16 fan. This is an LL16, but it's an LL16M, which means the back and sides are mahogany. And this is not a normal tone wood choice for them. They usually build the 16s on a rosewood, and I'm telling you, this guitar, just humongous. It's got the old factory strings on there, so they're not doing too good, but when I put some D'Addario XS on these things, boy, I'm just going to kick ass. So there's your LL16M. Really rare. Like, I just never seen this guitar before, and just a beautiful guitar. The typical, the 5-piece neck, and just engineered at the shop in Hamamatsu. you just can't go wrong with these things. I've got so many high-end Yamahas that I will never part with. And there goes another one. So, the first Christian goes to...
It's a super chat from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker from Sweden. What do you think of the Fiddler? You're probably going to say so anyway, but he'll say something, I'm sure. And feel free to ask Mr. Rutz any question.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
This is a man that knows just about everything you want to know about playing the fiddle, so there you go. What's Stephen saying?
He says, son loves his Recording King from you and immediately asked for a Galacaster number 2, which has been ordered. Thank you. Nice shirt.
Oh,
He wrote that before the live stream even started, so
perfect.
He was just guessing.
All right, cool. Okay, next.
Super chat from Colin Dolan.
Colin Dolan, back again from Ireland. All the way, yes.
Hi all, what are your thoughts on pinless bridges?
I don't know. I mean, I love them. There's no pins. But the problem with a pinless bridge is that you have no contact between the string end and the bridge plate. So while it's convenient to just have a pull-through bridge, just put a string in there and boom, it's in. And you never have to worry about breaking pegs or the holes wearing out or the break angle changing or any of those things because you're not dealing with any of that. You're actually sacrificing some connection from the strings to the bridge plate. So that's one thing that's potentially a downfall. But I've owned all kinds of guitars with pinless bridge systems. Ovations have them. Some Takaminis have them. Some Breedloves have them. And they definitely do work. There's no question that it makes life a lot easier. But also, another downfall of a pinless system is that you're putting all the pressure on the bridge. There's no pressure being relieved from the string being inside the hole, going down and hooking on the edge of the bridge plate inside the guitar. You're just pulling straight time on the back of that bridge, like all of the weight is on it, right? So that's the thought. But anyhow, many guitars have used it successfully, so yeah. We don't deal... Well, we sort of deal with that with fiddles.
Kind of.
The fiddle's pulling all the weight right off the tailpiece. But the tailpiece, the angle of this catgut changes the weight distribution, right? So you're actually pulling from back here, which is way stronger than just pulling from there. It's the same thing with the guitar. So it's interesting. Good question. It's never been asked before. There's pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, I guess
you're
so.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Trying to mess me up now. Sure, Darks.
I got a question from Eli Patrick.
Eli Patrick Music. Eli is a young 18-year-old kid from Kentucky.
Oh, cool.
Who plays bluegrass like a monster.
Awesome.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Very cool.
Monster.
Eli
Patrick.
Awesome,
yeah.
Eli.
We're gonna have to either go to him or get him up here, one or the other. So what's he saying?
He has a fiddle question.
Okay, there you go.
This fiddle thing is coming along. I'm getting a better feel for the bow. What should my next step be?
There you go. You take
So
it.
it's funny that you ask a bow question. I believe that the bow is the most important part of the fiddle.
Yep.
I mean, a good quality bow will certainly enhance any tones and sounds and feel.
Yeah.
I think the bow is that's a great step to be focusing in on.
Yeah.
All right. Next steps. I mean, it all depends on where you're at too, I suppose. With I mean, whatever you're looking for, if you want to be jamming, and I mean, I dump a lot of focus in on your bowing. That's bowing
Who would you listen to? Because he's in Kentucky.
in Kentucky.
He's just learning, I think.
He's learning, and he's already really proficient on guitar, mandolin, banjo. Like, he's really good.
Yeah.
So, like, he plays Jerry Reed stuff.
Oh,
on the
cool.
guitar, plus flat picks,
Very
plays
cool.
Scruggs banjo. He's a monster, right?
So you're on the right page.
Right. So who would you listen to? Like, if it was me, I would tell him Kenny Baker.
Kenny Baker, that's a great starting point. I think.
But who else would come to mind for
Oh
you?
man, again, just circling back to the bowing aspect of things, I'd listen to Jason Carter. Now, Jason Carter is our He's our boy from who's the old bluegrass boy there? All of them.
Right.
All of them. Jason Carter, great fiddle player. I'd zone in and focus in on his bowing and his tone. The guy's a monster.
Here's another
I'll leave
question.
it at that.
I'm
Jason
putting
Carter.
you on the spot.
Oh, geez.
So when you demonstrate your bow grip,
My bow grip. My thumb.
you're basically a classical grip, a quasi classical grip like me.
Yes.
The same. I do the same thing.
So I've got my thumb going in between the frog and the grip itself.
Yep.
And I've got my trigger finger.
And you play way low.
I do. But again, when I get going, I'm only using
Right.
these three,
That's
my thumb and my
exactly
two
the
fingers.
It's exactly the same as me.
Until I get like chugging along,
Yeah.
then I got all four fingers going on. But
Now, did you ever experiment with the whole gripping the frog like O'Connor does?
oh man, I
Which he doesn't always do anymore,
can't.
but
I
he
can't
did.
do it. I can't do it.
They
The whole
always say,
frog
they
and-
always say it makes the bow longer.
There are so many different grips out there, and
Right.
I mean, just hone in on whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah.
And again, I hold my fiddle like I swear I'll have carpal tunnel by the time I'm 36.
Oh,
But
I
I
went through
don't
all
hold my
already.
fiddle properly either. I remember playing in fiddle contests, and the judges would always comment on, "Oh, Ben, maybe work on holding your fiddle with a space in between the space in between the neck and your hand." But I've got a death grip on this thing. So again, what I always say to my students, whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever you're most comfortable with to make it enjoyable and to produce a sound that you're happy with.
Yeah.
I'd run with that.
'Cause
Jason Carter, be comfortable.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Good
Yeah.
one. There you go.
Yeah,
There's
that's
some
it.
great advice from a
Yeah.
master fiddler. Okay, next.
We got a super chat from Stephen Baker,
Stephen Becker.
which I think was written before we started.
Probably.
It says, "Excellent beard, Chris." Okay, shirt.
They calling you Chris.
Chris, bless his... Chris must be a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Stephen, a lot of the guys that go on here with us every week have been here for, 2 years?
Awesome.
So
So good.
They're just making jokes straight time.
Good,
So.
I love it.
But they pay to make them, so what are you going to do?
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, next.
We got a super chat from Mr. XR Woody.
Oh, that's new.
It might be new.
That is new. Okay, what's he want?
Howdy from Bakersfield,
California?
Wow.
if that's where
Damn.
Bakersfield is. Yeah.
Sweet.
That's where Bakersfield is.
I love California.
Bakersfield, Saskatchewan.
Well, hopefully
Who
not.
knows?
No.
Wishing I could teleport there with my pre-Pantheon bourgeois to compare with these boucher you're playing these days. Cheers.
Right. Well, Bourgeois, Dana Bourgeois, is one of the premier guitar builders on the planet, and he has been for many years. And I met him 20 years ago when he was just starting out and had just started building guitars for Ricky Skaggs. And now he's almost at that level of Grit Laskin style. His guitars have become so expensive. You know, you get one of his instruments that's ornate and perhaps, just has some other kind of zing on it that he decides to do. You're looking at $16,000, $18,000, $20,000 for one of his guitars, and they're worth every dime. They're works of art. But you can also still buy his straight dreadnoughts and his, you know what I mean, which is really cool. And he's a Maine boy. He's from Maine. He's a good old redneck like me, and he's a lovely man. And so, I don't know. Like I would love to see. There's a lot of similarities actually between Dana and Robin Boucher. They, especially in their straight kind of bluegrass guitar world. Robin's Rocket, as I call it, the BG52, I think it is just one of the best bluegrass guitars that you can play. I have one. Jake Workman plays one now because of me.
Cool.
There's a lot. And you're in that world with Robin's in that world with Bourgeois, Collings, Thompson, Husson Dalton, pre-war, all these great companies. And frankly, I think we're in better shape right now in 2022 than we've ever been in my lifetime as a guitar player. There's so many great builders that you can choose from. Gallagher, I don't want to forget them, because they're making a massive comeback and just building some of the nicest guitars I have ever seen. And they're all up there. They're in this, like he said, did he say a pantheon? Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's becoming this, right now in North America, there's like this Mount Olympus of guitar builders, right? And there's just so many of them, and there's something in that pantheon for every single player. There'll be one name and one guitar that sticks out, and you're like, that's the one. That's the one that makes me play the best, sound the best, has the biggest inspiration. You know what I mean? It's just like fiddle. Fiddles are weird because they can be 300 years old.
That's it. And
it might be the one. Where's your that looks like it might be Canadian.
That it is indeed. That's funny you say the 300.
I see the bird's eye in it.
Yeah. So this fiddle was made by a fella just outside. I was born and raised in Pembroke, Ontario. So quick little trip down the highway, Highway 17. Peter Dawson, a great fiddle violin builder back home, made this for me in 2006.
Yeah.
And my mother, I'm sure she's watching. I'm sure she is not thrilled with the rosin buildup on it.
Mine looks like a wedding cake.
We played CBC for Canada Day, and did she ever give me a blast? She's like, "You clean that thing."
My Uncle Joe used to do that to me all the time. Why don't you clean your fiddle? God damn.
Yeah. Built this for me in 2006. The back is made out of a maple. It's a certain bird's eye maple from the furthest point on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Now, they made this instrument, and I should know the name of the wood, but it became illegal to make instruments out of this wood. Right. No word of a lie, about a month after. All one piece.
It looks like what they call a cascade maple. It's part flame, part bird's eye. It's really something. The sides are especially, you can tell.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful instrument.
It's a great instrument.
But that's the difference between a fiddler and a guitar player. A guitar player, the parameters are very, rigidly set. Fiddle's not so much. I have two violins here that I like to play. One of them is built by Bob Kogut in North Carolina, which is probably the nicest fiddle I've ever played in my life. And the other one is a $1,300 German student violin that was taken apart and redone by Reedstra's, right?
Awesome.
And so it too is a Canon, but the price difference is ridiculous, right?
Of course.
You know what I mean? And that's why I think guitar players have it really good right now. And if you go outside that pantheon and start to go to the other shop capable builders like Yamaha, Yeri, Sigma to a certain extent, they're building some custom instruments in China through AMI Germany. And these are and Epiphone Gibson. Epiphone right now is just killing it. What they're doing right now, they're inspired by Gibson guitars and the stuff that's coming out of the Montana shop. You can spend $4,000 on an Epiphone right now, and it's going to be. I have one here. I got to review it very soon.
Who would have thought?
I know.
Who would have thought?
Well, they were once upon a time the biggest competitor for Gibson, Epiphone, right?
Incredible.
And that whole history is coming back to life. And I think as I've said 100 times in this show and other parts of the channel, the pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to us. I really believe that. I think it put playing music back in the forefront of people's heads.
For sure. Even
for professionals like us, we started going, you know what? I should sit down and practice some.
You're not wrong.
Right?
You're not wrong.
It's just the way it worked out, and it's fabulous. So
Jesus.
Next.
Lord.
Jesus.
We got a super chat from Jamie Reed.
Jamie Reed.
Always insane quality here on String Theory. Hi to Ben.
Hey Jimmy. Nice to eat you.
Yeah,
virtually.
So just so you know, Ben's up for grabs here on the East Coast. He does studio work. He does live work. I'm going to start talking to some people who are getting some teaching stuff going on. This is the man we need here in this part of the world right now. I'm telling you right now.
That's very kind of you.
Oh man, when I found out you were moving here, I near shit.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, that's the guy we need to come down here, and you did. So there you are.
Awesome.
So next, what else we got?
We got a super chat from Bob Perone.
Bob Perone.
Congrats, JP. You found your Mahogany LL.
I did. Yes, I did. It was mentioned. It may have been mentioned several months ago, whether or not they even made one, but god damn they did. And I have it. I called Terry Hume at Yamaha today and told him, he's like, you did what? Like, yeah, I bought another one. What? They love me at Yamaha. I love them too. Okay, next.
We got a super chat from Michael Easter.
Michael Easter. Long time member of String Theory World.
A question for Ben. Who were your major music influences?
Oh, great question. Fantastic question. Again, growing up in the Ottawa Valley, I'd say, JP and I were actually talking about this a little earlier. My biggest influence on the fiddle was still a fellow by the name of Shane Cook. Shane Cook is a huge inspiration to myself. Another fella, Louis Schreier, and my fiddle teacher, Ian Hamilton. Now, Ian's from Cobden, and he was probably my greatest influence growing up. Now, when we talk about backup fiddle playing, I love Rob Pajakis, great, obviously, great style. And then we were 2-3 tours ago, have my now dear friend Natalie McMaster come out and join us for a few tunes in the middle of our set.
She's a great player.
Oh, great player, great human being. So those are probably my 4 greatest influences on the fiddle.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And we also talked about Denny Langto.
Oh, Denny Langto, my gosh.
Yeah.
How did we forget it? Ben, come on.
Yeah.
Denny Langto, and again, guy from Ottawa.
Yep.
Brilliant talent.
He actually was able to play with T-Jean Carignan. He was, as a boy, knew Carignan.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And played with his piano player for years, and he's also a wicked piano player. Denny Langto is one of the best piano players I have ever heard.
I'm so happy that...
Oh my God, he's good. Oh my God.
He is phenomenal. Denny Langto, if you've not heard this man, please check him out.
Let's play something.
You want to play something?
Let's do this song. I never sang on this show.
You're going to sing?
Yeah, man.
Let's my wheelhouse. Oh, well, Yamaha sounds good.
It does.
All right.
I'm gonna get some strings on it. Hear that lonesome whippoorwill. He sounds too blue to cry. The midnight train is whining low. I'm so lonesome I could cry. I've never seen a night so long when time goes crawling by. The moon just went behind the clouds. I'm so to hide its face and cry. Get it back. Robin weep when leaves behind begin to die, it means he's lost the will to live. I'm so lonesome I can cry. The silence of a falling star lights up a purple sky. And as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry. Damn, that was pretty. Man, wow.
Ah.
Oh, I could do that. I could do that all night long.
My man.
That's how that
beautiful.
goes. Man.
Great tune.
It's such a beautiful... That's one of the most beautiful songs ever written, in my opinion. Hank Williams just killed that. There'll never be another Hank Williams. And man, that's exactly how that's supposed to be played, buddy.
Thank you.
You got all the lyrics in the fiddle.
That was beautiful.
That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Probably just freaked the shit out of however many thousand people are going to watch on this, because I never do stuff like that, ever.
That's what I heard.
Never.
That's what I heard.
I never sing those songs, and I never sing on the show.
Well,
very seldom.
I won't say never.
Yeah. So it's a great honor.
I was just going to say that.
A great honor to do that with you. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
So there you go, boys. Who's next?
We have a super
I'll have to
chat from...
explain Connects to you later, too. It's
please,
a long story.
Please do.
It's a long story. It was all from a college conversation, really drunk.
All right.
And somebody was saying about all the words that in the English language where the K is silent. So during the night he just started. Everything was, well, I cano.
Oh.
And then he started putting the K on words that had no K.
Oh man.
And so the first night we did this show 2 years ago, I was saying next,
Connect.
and then next, and it was like connects, and it just kept going. And so there we are. So now there's shirts and hats and pins and all that.
With the silent, but
Connect.
not so silent.
The
K.
not so silent
Yeah.
K. So there you go. All right. Who's next?
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Question for both. Take your time.
Ah,
Worst advice you ever received? Top 3?
the worst advice.
I've been in some pretty bad scenarios, but worst advice.
You know what? I never got any bad advice.
No.
I really didn't.
No.
But you know what? And you'll say the same thing, because we've just met tonight, and him and I just were like that, because he's done the same things I've done. He's a little younger than me, but he's like, we were talking tonight about, he played the Opry when he was 16, and so did I when I was 16 years old.
Crazy.
But there's 18 years between us, right? So we both sort of gone through the same gamut. Now, I didn't have any bad advice, but I got advice that I didn't want to hear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was told something by somebody that if I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
all right.
I don't want to do that. And it was me being lazy and stubborn. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've gotten all kinds of advice in my lifetime that was hard for me to hear. You know what I mean?
That's fair, yeah.
But I ended up following it anyway. After some time of being an arsehole and not doing the right thing, and went, you know what, they were right. I have to do it this way, right? Did you ever come across anything like that?
Oh man, I just think seeing the people that I've come across over the years, I think I've seen and witnessed things that I don't want to do, people that I don't want to become.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm always going to treat people the way that I want to be treated,
Yeah.
Musically, in life and musically.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe no bad advice, but just
bad examples.
Things you want to steer clear
I
of.
too have witnessed all that, and we all have. We've in this business particularly, because there's so many pitfalls in it, and unfortunately, a lot of our heroes, the people that we looked up to all our lives, they didn't always have the greatest life. They always didn't live the best life. You know what I mean? And it's easy to look at them and go, maybe I should follow that and do all the crazy shit that they did, and maybe it'll change me somehow. Mm-hmm. But I found it early on that that's not true. You can, when you see somebody who is, sort of in danger of chucking it all away because of addiction or because of these things, or whatever the things that happen, it's an eye opener.
Absolutely.
And it's really an eye opener when the person's highly successful. Mm-hmm. And I witnessed that many times in my career, and it taught me there would be the bad advice to see a role model doing something that's kind of fucking them up, and you want to follow them, but you don't want to follow all of that. No. You know what I mean? So that might be sort of the only thing. This is going to make you laugh. The person that I only spent about 4 days with this guy one time, and which was at the Ryman reopening.
All right.
And I got to know this guy really well over 4 days because he just seemed to gravitate to me and my brother, Bob, who was our bus driver. And he just fell in love with Bob. Of course, everybody did. My brother's like the nicest guy in the world, right? He's like, everybody, and he's quiet, never says a word, and everybody wanted to hang out with Bob. Well, this was Carl Perkins.
Oh, okay.
And the guy that I played for, Jerry Sullivan, knew him really well because they were all hanging around his son in the 50s. Jerry Sullivan wrote Great Balls of Fire that Jerry Lee Lewis ended up recording, right? Yeah. And so they called Carl Daddy Cat. That was his nickname amongst all his buddies, right? And I got to spend 4 days with that guy, nearly all day and all night for 4 days. He was just around, and that was some of the best conversation I ever had because he saw all of it. And I'll never forget how it started. He was a smoker, and he was running out of cigarettes all the time, and he was like, "Hey, you think old Bob has some cigarettes?" And I was like, "Yeah, he probably does." And I did too, So we were going out back of the Ryman, standing on this ancient bricks, these steps back there. You know the ones I'm talking about. They lead across the alley.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm standing on that round one that's right. Only you step down and into the alley, and I'm standing there, and we're lighting a cigarette, and Carl looks over at me and goes, "The last time I saw Hank Williams, he was standing right there, smoking a cigarette, just like you are." And then he went on to tell me like all the stuff that Williams had done. That was just
so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was just
what a moment.
Yeah. And Patsy Cline. Yeah. And he was there. He saw all of it. And that was one of the most magical moments ever in my life, was getting to spend that much time around him. And he was so humble and so unsure, right? And he was scared. He went up in the show and did Matchbox and like a couple of his hits, and he just killed it, awesome. Right? But he was terrified. He was telling me backstage, he's like, man, these young kids, they don't know me. I was like, "Are you kidding me, man? Everybody knows you. Nuts. Don't be like, man, you can't be serious." Yeah. Well, man, I was famous 40 years ago, man. I don't know who I am. And he went up and just tore the living shit out of it.
Slayed it.
And so that is another example. And I'm sure you've had the same things where you meet somebody, and it isn't advice per se. It's them trying to relay some huge piece of information on you that's going to alter your life. And the way you look at your career and look at your everything, the way you practice, the way you apply yourself, the people you work for, how you treat everybody, blah, you know what I mean? It's humongous when that happens.
Yeah.
And I was lucky a number of times. And I can tell from talking to you that you were the same. You ran into a lot of people.
Ran into a lot of really great people, a lot of really great advice over the years.
Yeah.
My favorite piece of backup fiddle advice, I don't know, it's quite common, but it was a fellow by the name of Dean Lavoie, great bass player, from the Ottawa Valley, and he would always say, back when I first got started doing this thing, I said, Dean, what kind of advice could you give me playing a lead instrument or the fiddle?
Yeah.
He says, Benny, just wait till that singer takes a breath and you fill in those holes.
That's right.
But not too much.
That's right.
You fill in those holes when that singer takes a breath.
That's right.
And that's one bit of advice that it's always stuck with me.
There was a whole, I'm going to just, maybe we better move on to another question, but I just want to, you're talking about that.
A question that had us so stumped at the start here.
But it's that's the magic of string theory, though. It leads us down the rabbit hole a lot. And one of the things that, if you've watched my Life and Music series, is 81 episodes of that, pretty well my entire life biography. And there was a great moment when I was a 16-year-old kid learning to play mandolin for the Sullivan family. Enoch and Emmett sitting me on the couch. Enoch, the band leader, the fiddle player, he looked like Elvis with snow white hair. Cool. He was a badass. He was I modeled my fronting of a show after him because he was such an incredible front man. And he told me one day, he was like, he said, we're going to play Rank Stranger, and you're going to play the mandolin. I'm going to show you where to back it up. So he's like, I wonder, the thumb and yes. Where my home in the mountain. The thumb out yes. Play something right there.
Oh, good.
Thumb and yes. When their youth's early dawn. Thumb out yes. Thumb and yes. I was happy and free. And that's how he did it.
Brilliant.
And he scared the shit out of me. He terrified me.
Oh, that's good.
Because he was just like, you put the thumb in your yes. Don't you fucking play. When I'm singing, I'll hit you with my fiddle bow. And that's how I learned what you just said. Yeah. Play with
thumb
the singers.
Thumb
in yes, thumb out yes. Like he that's how he taught me.
Yeah.
He sat me down on the couch one day and he said, "This is when you play, and this is what you don't. If you don't follow this, you're off the stage." You know what I mean? Like that was just that simple.
Great
Either
advice.
do it or piss off. And I learned how to pick from people like that.
All right.
They were unforgiving, but not.
Right.
They came off hard, and scared the shit out of you, but they were really pulling for you.
It's the best. That is the best.
I was so lucky. And I mean, anybody who's been in the business as long as you have and I have, and being utility men.
Right.
That's where it's really at.
Oh man.
I always loved it. My before I was J.P. Cormier, I was just John Paul. I was this guy from Canada that was hanging around Nashville and getting all these utility man jobs.
Perfect.
Because I was cheap, right? I'd play for $100 a night.
Because the Canadian dollar, right?
Yeah. Which was on par.
Oh,
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
Get a super chat from Larry Reinders.
Larry, I've been getting your emails, buddy. I don't know. Just to answer your question, this is Larry. There was a full page, like fold out article on me in Billboard in '97 or '98, and I don't remember what the dates of it were, Larry. But Larry's attempting to find it for me because there was a full write up on Another Morning came out at a full page in Billboard, and it was Larry LeBlanc, I think, was the guy that did the interview and wrote the article. But so Larry, what's Larry saying?
How often would you change strings on a fiddle?
Oh, great question. I'm actually going to give Larry at D'Addario Canada a quick shout out. Larry, my man. It's a great question. I'd like to change my fiddle strings. It all depends on how much I'm playing. Now, if I'm out on tour, if we're out doing, 5 shows a week, I'll change those every 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's a lot. And again...
Now, do you change because the winding starts to come loose?
I just
like it.
They get love it. I got a nice... Now, these have been on close to a month now.
What are those Preludes?
These are my Helicours.
Oh, Helicours, yeah. I use Preludes.
Yeah.
Parastro Chrome cores.
They're nice.
And
they're
Prim.
Nice. Okay.
Are the three that I gravitate to.
Yeah.
I switch around.
Oh man, I love these fiddle strings.
And you just use the Helicours.
Yeah.
They're deadly.
Oh, the break-in time is
nothing.
Oh, for fiddle strings, which is absolutely mind blowing.
I know.
And
when you get that, when the brakes come on a string, it's like you can't get rid of it.
And I mean, we play a lot of outdoor festivals too, and the intonation is pretty great with these strings.
So I'm surprised that you change that often.
And again, we're playing a lot.
I changed my strings,
and we're fiddle players, man. We play a lot backstage, and we're playing a lot. So
I changed my strings roughly once a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
And unless the windings start to loosen.
Yeah.
If that happens, they're gone. But generally speaking, like the strings that are on the fiddle over there, they've probably been on there for 9 months.
Wow. Yeah.
And they still sound good. They're not. But here's the thing. The way that I normally use a fiddle, when I'm not doing your kind of work, it matters then. But if I'm playing Celtic stuff, the fatness of a dead string assists with all the ornaments and all the.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
With you, you're going to play bright and sweet, and it has to be there.
You got it.
When you're doing intricate things like backing up country and rock and all these things,
right?
You can't have dead strings.
No.
But if you're playing, J.S. Skinner,
get some.
The older they are, the fatter they seem to sound.
Yeah, I
Gritty,
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one quick string that I'd love for you to try out at some point. Now the Dario's come out with an octave violin string. Ooh. You're putting cello players out of work now.
Really?
It's so cool. It is so cool.
So they must be super light tension.
They're the thickest string.
Are they really?
Oh my goodness!
And you can get that low.
You can get them, and they fit through the tuning peg, and they're brilliant.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
You got it. I may have a.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Very cool. But yeah, I'm going 2 weeks if I'm super busy, maybe. And again, they'll never last on my fiddle more than a month and a half. So you keep tops.
Do you keep a second? Do you travel with 2 fiddles? No?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All those.
So one of them may be
down-tuned.
Right.
Always down-tuned.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of artists now singing that half step down.
Well,
And the fiddles, we don't have capos for these things, right? So
in the 60s, all the writers, all the great guitar players, too, like Jerry Reed and Oh Lonesome Me.
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
Oh, Lonesome Me.
Don Gibson.
Yeah.
They all tuned a half step low. And the reason for it was back then is that they were writing for females. So in order to be able to sing them register where they could pitch it to a woman, they had to knock it down a half step and sing it up high, or an octave, so where they could actually get where they could pitch it to a woman, which is really cool. But that's how it all started.
Sounds great.
But all of them did. Tom T. Hall played half a step low. Jerry Reed, Don Gibson, what's his face? Harlan Howard, and all those writers, they all were a half step low.
Nowadays, I mean, Zach Brown's playing everything a half step down.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sounds wicked.
Yeah.
Especially instrumental stuff.
Oh, it throws the fiddle players for a loop if you're not familiar with it and you're trying to learn the tunes.
But the bottom end of the fiddle just sings.
There.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
Okay, next.
I get a super chat from Cam.
Cam McMaster. Hopefully you're feeling better, my friend.
He said he's coming back from Cape Cod, so it seems like he's feeling better.
This is very good. Good to know.
That song was beautiful. Wow. JP, where do you get your ideas from?
I steal them from every great musician I've ever heard in my life. And that's the truth. I shouldn't say I haven't invented anything, but the reason that I invented things was based upon the brilliance of other musicians. It's everything I've ever done.
Brilliant
is based upon that, right? So I only stand on the shoulders of giants. If I was an innovator the way my heroes innovated, I would be a completely different musician. And you might not like what I do. You know what I mean? The reason that, and yourself as well, like fiddlers are especially so influenced by the greats of the genre.
Totally.
And you get your vibrato, and you get your ad-lib choices from certain you encyclopedize the playing of Mark O'Connor and Stuart Duncan and Chubby Wise and Buddy Spiker and all these great players, right? And that's where you create your ideas from. Mm-hmm. If you come up with something original because of that, that's great. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're just putting together all of these great ideas from all these different players, like a jigsaw puzzle. Mm-hmm. And that is your contribution to it. That you love them enough to keep all those bits and pieces in your head and put them together into your own interpretation of what they might have done.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that's the answer.
That's where you get your ideas from.
That's the answer. For me, at least, that's definitely the answer. Okay, next.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker. Oh, here he goes. His 10 minutes too. He's going to start asking the long.
Good.
Yeah. Can you read the dictionary, please? Could you tell us what? Could you count the beards in Ben's, or the hairs in Ben's beard, please? Yeah.
Apparently the gray ones are popping in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Happens. Stephen.
Sue says, didn't know Chris was such a great fiddle player.
Jesus.
Hardly recognize him
this guy?
between that and the beard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
Yes, inquiring minds want to know where Chris is.
Chris is flying.
I think he's in New York tonight.
Or next.
Chicago. I don't know, one of them. Stephen has another super chat.
Stephen's got another super chat?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
He says, opposite question. Great advice that you took, and it turned things around.
Yeah. Well, that question's already been answered.
Yeah.
It's the same answer to that question.
Well, the first question was about bad advice.
Yeah, but we went into
we turned it around.
Yeah, we went into the good stuff. So,
warped it around, yeah.
Okay, next.
Super chat from Jamie Reed.
Jamie Reed, welcome back.
Ben, being from Scotland, I love hearing the fiddle. JP loves to come to Scotland to play. Do you?
Actually, I do. I love the UK. I love Scotland, Ireland. My father-in-law is from Wales, and I think that might be. I apologize. Wales might be one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. The fellow that I tour with right now, for the last 18 some years, is from just outside of Glasgow, a place called Wishaw. I call it Wishaw. He says Wishy. They'd say Pishy Wishy. I'm sure that'll you'll be able to pick up on that. But I love going over there to play. Great culture, great heritage, great music. It's amazing. I am a Celtic fan. Don't hold that against me. All right.
Next.
We got a highlighted chat from Michael O'Coin.
Michael O'Coin.
He's been a member for 25 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Any shows upcoming?
Who? Me?
Yes. Both of you.
Well, I'm playing the Lunenburg Folk Harbor Festival this weekend, and it's just going to be varying sundry appearances here and there forever. It's a never-ending world tour.
The next weekend you're in PEI.
Yeah.
2 nights.
So check the website. Check jp-cormier.com. And what about yourself? You got any gigs going on?
Next week we're back in Ontario. We're doing the Manitoulin Country Fest.
Nice.
Following week we're in Edmonton, back in British Columbia. Cool one that just popped up. I got a phone call from my buddies in Glass Tiger.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go out with Glass Tiger in November and December.
Sweet.
So a little further than
playing fiddle.
Playing the fiddle.
Son
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Son of a bitch.
Ripping that on the fiddle, yeah. It'll be cool. So lots with Johnny Reed, with those guys, and I'm hoping to do some work locally here in Halifax.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker.
Love to be back in a schedule. My heart is warm, and so are my bullocks. Thanks for tonight.
He takes a bath while he watches.
He's in the bath right
Bless
now.
his heart.
Yeah, he put the laptop on the board over the bathtub and sits there with his balls floating around.
Yeah, it's a good thing that it's not...
it's not two-way. It's not double vision there. Two-way vision.
Jeez.
Connect.
You in a hurry or what? You in a rush? That's the end of the super chats at the moment.
All right.
But let me roll back here for a sec.
Well, let's play a tune.
Let's play a tune.
Well, no.
Fiddle or
wait
what?
one more. There's got to be something there. Give us something.
There's a question from Always Pickin'.
Always picking. Come on in.
I'd like to know if JP or anyone in here has played an Alvarez AP66 SHB. It's all mahogany parlor guitar in the Artist series.
I have not, but I have an all Honduran mahogany triple O guitar here built by Yeri, which is an absolute cannon. And I call her. Actually, she hasn't been named yet. The Dreadnoughts I call her the Dragon. And the little mahogany, all solid mahogany is just. I haven't named her yet, but what a guitar! Holy shit! I've taken her out on the road multiple times since I've had her, and it sounds like that's a mahogany with a sunburst top, if I'm not mistaken, that you're talking about, and yeah, they're just deadly. They're just deadly. You really can't beat them for the money. Even the high end stuff that I have here, that's coming from the shop in Connie. It's under $4,000, right? It's ridiculous how good those guitars are for the $3,000 to $4,000 price point. Way better than anything you're gonna find out of the big three. Cool. And so good on you. Glad you're playing Alvarez Yeri, for sure. Knerkt.
I was just reading the current chats. We have a request for a tune.
Okay.
If you're up for it. The Poor Girl Waltz.
Do you know that?
Do you know that?
Yeah.
I'm so bad with names.
Do.
Okay. Doot. So the question for this week, we're up to number 33 and 34.
I'm gonna complete it.
We've got another 18 or so weeks to go before the next humongous draw. Won't be long now before we start to announce the prize package for this draw. You should have seen this last one.
Yeah.
There was like $5,000 worth of guitars.
Come on.
Yeah, there was 3 guitars and amplifier, and all of our sponsors came in and gave us all this stuff.
How do I get in on this?
Oh, you might be able to. I don't know. It just depends on if you can answer this question.
No.
But not right now.
But not right now.
Okay.
You can't say it now. So, the question is, what is the name of the country singer that Mr. Ben Rutz plays a fiddle for? That's the question.
Ben, we're live. Don't say anything, right?
Yeah, that's right. Let's see if they were paying attention.
All right.
I usually try to trick them. Ask them a question from the show. Something that's only mentioned once. And then
all right.
Well, we mentioned a couple times, I think.
Yeah, you were just sort of, you snuck it in there.
Let a few answers come in. Okay, we got some. Pretty sure.
Okay, who's first?
So the answer, Johnny Reed.
Yes, it is.
Well done.
The first one with Johnny Reed was Mike Muttry.
Okay, that's.
I don't remember ever saying that before.
Muttry. Nope, he's number 33.
Right on, Mike.
How's that spelled?
Mutrey.
Okay. All right, who's the next one?
And the second one is Jamie Reed.
Jamie, that he may have already. Just a second now.
Are you in there?
No.
Easy last name to remember for him at least.
He didn't get it. He's in now, number 34.
Right on, Jamie.
All right, boys. There's your number 33 and 34 on the list.
Cool.
And
Chris
we are going to play tunes now to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Just get us on out of here because hell damn shit ya. What key do you want to play in?
Oh, G. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Red Wing.
That'd be a great tune to rip. Let's try that.
Let me make sure I'm with you here. Give me something. Give her.
2, 3.
exactly how that goes. Mr. Ben Rutz.
All right.
Mr. Ben Rutz, thank you for being here with us on another Wednesday night. String Theory rocks, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
What a great player. Man, oh man, oh man. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks to the lovely Ginger in the house.
Yes, Ginger, thank you.